So all this week, I've been thinking about video ideas. I was thinking about a video that I could make that would bring value to you guys and that I felt good about posting. So anyway, we come down to Friday afternoon and I still don't have a video in my head and I'm like, shoot. So I text the wisest person I know, my mom. Which brings me to how I got to the topic of today's video. As the end of the first quarter of the year is quickly approaching, I decided to give you guys some pointers on how to really set and achieve your goals. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. So the first tip that I have for you guys is to write your goals down. Don't just put them in a random note on your notes app and then just leave them on your phone to be forgotten about. You're better than that and you deserve better than that. If any of you guys have seen my previous videos, you would know that I am a pen to paper type of girl. I apply it to my schoolwork, I journal, and I even apply it to when I'm planning my day or things that are coming ahead. It's just something about writing them down that makes them more tangible, and you also remember them more, so you're less likely to forget about them and they're more likely to be kind of like embedded in your brain. When I write my goals, I like to make them more visually appealing so that I'm like forced or more drawn to look at them. I play around with colors, I write in cursive, and just really make it very visually appealing. Now, I don't write them down in just a notebook for it to be put on my desk and forgotten about. I usually write it on a blank sheet of paper and then I hang it up on this bulletin board that I have in my room. And my bulletin board is somewhere in my room that I just can't miss. I will always be forced to see it when I'm coming in my room, when I'm exiting my room, or when I'm just in my room in general. Which leads me to my next thing, which is make a vision board. This year was my first year making a vision board, and honest to God, it was so much fun. So what you do is you gather a bunch of images that pertain to your goals, and then you make a collage out of them, make them all cute, and then you print it out and put it somewhere where you cannot miss. And if you're really serious about achieving your goals this year, you can put it everywhere that you think you'll be able to see it. So I make it my phone wallpaper and my computer wallpaper, and I find that it really just helps me like remember all the time what my goals are so that I don't forget about them. So I've been doing a couple of things different this year just to set myself up for success. And one thing that I actually saw in the Meghan Markle and Prince Harry documentary is that Meghan Markle, every year she has a word, and it's always something that she wants to emulate or something that she wants to focus more on that year. So this year I wanted to do the same thing. So one day before the new year, I was meditating. I was like, okay, let me just meditate on a word. What word is going to be my word for 2023? So my word for 2023 is attraction. I want to attract things into my life, attract positive experiences, and that's sort of how I got my word for the year, and I put that on my vision board. It's in the middle, it's very big, it's bright pink, like you can't miss it. It just serves as a constant reminder that I want to attract good things in my life. One thing that also really helps is to try and set aside a time to really look at and visualize your goals. For all of my manifestation girlies out there, you already know this, but this is called the law of attraction. You are visualizing what your life is going to be like when you achieve those goals. Even if it's a more like low-key goal, like eating healthier or seeing more family, like what would your life look like? How would you behave? How would that change you? And then you start either acting like that goal has already happened, or you continue to visualize that goal. To kind of go hand in hand with the law of attraction sort of notion, don't think that your goals are silly. If an idea or something has already been put in your head, that means that it already exists. You just have to find a way for it to get to you. And by you adding a visual element such as a vision board to this, you are making it easier and increasing the likeliness that this goal will reach you. Another thing that you can do is to separate your goals into small, manageable chunks. Where people miss is that they have these big goals, but then they don't have these small little like milestones, if you will, or small little like checkpoints to really check where your progress is, which also leads to them getting discouraged and ultimately abandoning their goals. So I'm not saying don't make big goals. Absolutely make big goals, but then within those big goals, make smaller goals, make them more manageable, and have them in a smaller period of time. For most people, their goals are long term, so usually in about a year. What I do do is I also separate my goals into quarterly and monthly goals. It helps your brain to chew down the goals and digest them better. The next thing, goal planning. This is also arguably one of the most important things. Oftentimes, we underestimate the amount of work that it actually takes to achieve a goal. We get discouraged because we're like, dang, this is harder than I thought. So what you can do to sort of prevent this is to make a game plan. So you say, okay, what do I need to do to reach this goal? And how much time do I want this goal to be achieved? And then sort of go from there and just really like get down to the nitty-gritty details. You're like, okay, if I want to grow on my platform, I want to make 3 reels and 3 shorts and post 1 YouTube video a week, and that's your game plan. You're gonna be like, okay, so I'm gonna set aside like 2 hours out of my day to really edit and film my content. And that is how you prevent yourself from quitting early on in the process. The next thing, make your goals measurable. I remember listening to this podcast that said like the top 3 resolutions for the new year has something to do with improving your health, working out more, or spending more time with family or building your relationships. And a lot of times where people mess up is that they say, I want to work out more, I want to eat healthier, I want to see my family more. And yes, that's great, more is great, but you're not giving yourself something that's measurable. So make them more measurable. Say, I'm going to eat vegetables with at least 1 of my meals every day. Or for example, if you want to work on your relationships and you're like, okay, I'm gonna try to hang out with my family at least once or twice a month. And that I find really helps with your goal achieving process. The next section is challenges, incentives, and competition. It's human nature to be competitive, but what most people don't realize is that they can be competitive with themselves, especially if you want to work on your productivity and procrastination. Make a competition with yourself. For any of you guys that have siblings, you guys have probably had the conversation with your sibling where you're like, oh, I bet you can't do that. Do it with yourself. So when you're achieving your goals, be like, oh, I bet you can't work out for 30 minutes a day 3 times a week. And this motivates you to really push and sort of beat yourself in your own competition. Next thing, create a reward for yourself if you achieve your goals. This also helps you want to push and really fight for achieving your goals. So one thing you can do, especially if you make your own income, is that you can be like, okay, if I achieve all of my goals this month or this quarter or whatever, then I get to treat myself to a shopping spree of like $150 or whatever. Or be like, if I can achieve all my goals, then I'll treat myself to a little self-care day and splurge on all of the cute and aesthetic skincare I want. That actually sounds like a dream to me. Next thing, challenge yourself. If you've been following the same workout routine for about 3 weeks, then maybe you want to do something harder and more intense. Or if you're a content creator and you've only really been pushing out like 1 reel per week, maybe you want to spice it up and post 3 reels per week and just go from there. Go crazy, go bananas. The world, no, your mind is your limit. If you really believe that you can achieve these things, then they'll happen. The last thing that I'll leave you guys with is to just do it. One thing that my mom has been saying since forever is that if you wait until you feel like doing something, that task is never gonna get done. Most of the times when we do things, especially if we have to do them, we don't necessarily feel like doing them, but it's way easier if it's something that we're depending on ourselves upon. It's way easier to let ourselves down than let other people down. But you should treat yourself with the same respect and give yourself the same courtesy. Like, I don't want to disappoint myself. I deserve better than this, so I am going to just do it. So one book that's really like on my TBR list or my to be read list, it talks about your why. You do things because your why is strong, and when you achieve things, it's because you have a very strong why. Now what I mean by this is that you think to yourself, why am I doing this? Where do I want to be? What are the benefits of me achieving this task? So once you create that narrative or just like that list of things, then the rest will fall into place, and then you have that strong why, and then you can go from there and really achieve your goals. So that is it for this week's video. I really hope you guys found this video helpful in some way, shape, or form, and hopefully this gave you some insight on how to really set and achieve your goals for this year. I'm hoping you guys end the first quarter of this year with a very big bang, and in case no one's told you yet, you are special, you are worthy, and you are enough. I love you. Hugs.